Johnny DL here. I am in my kitchen. I'm actually currently cooking, but that's not what this video is about. This video is about Ender's Shadow and Ender's Game. The two books are what were combined to make the movie. I haven't actually watched the movie yet, so I'm going to need to watch that and do a review of it. However, I have listened to both of the audiobooks, and Orson Scott Card is a brilliant author, and the full cast that they've had sort of read the books works really well together. They've got, I think it's Stefan Rodnicki, I haven't got my Kindle in front of me, does Bean's character, and there's somebody else that does Ender's character for the two different series. Yeah, because they are two different series. The only book that coincides is Ender's Shadow and Ender's Game. Ender's Shadow sort of it tells the same story and as Ender's Game, but from the perspective of Bean. Bean being one of the other characters. Now they're both, well, they are the two smallest characters in Battle School, and like I said, this is going to have a lot of spoilers, so be aware of that. I do encourage you to go and read at least one of the books before I say too much, or watch the movie. Probably I may talk about the stuff that's in the movie that I haven't watched yet. In terms of the books, though, there's a bit of a well, we see Ender from Bean's perspective, and then in Ender's Shadow, and we see Bean from Ender's perspective. So between them, you get an overall view of both characters without being inside somebody's head, which is so useful for making the movie, which is why at the end of the afterword that was for the audiobook, I sort of touched on that. Orson Scott Card told us sort of why he used both books for the movie. He sold the rights to the movie, saying you should use both books, and it's a brilliant pair of books. And the whole story is they get taken from two entirely different environments, and well, everybody gets taken from a unique environment and put into Battle School. Now, Battle School is a space station which has some very odd bits of gravity, and there's also the battle rooms, and the battle rooms are just gravity-free environments where kids can shoot laser guns at each other effectively, and if you get shot by a laser gun, your suit freezes you in place. Is a overview of the battle rooms, and they have some experience commanding armies, and because everybody at Battle School is brilliant in terms of strategy, and they're all potential commanders of fleets, well, the fleet even. So they all want command experience, and they're all clever, and they all want to do stuff off their own merit. And I'm cooking so at the same time, so it's just very. It's very childlike in a way. The majority of the two books are very much aimed at, well, I say very much aimed, they're not aimed at young children, but the characters are young children, and although they're extremely clever, some of the selfish ways they act and the games that they play, because everything's a game, is just childish, and it's a good place to start either series from, because both of the main characters, Bean and Ender, at the end of the books, end up having had to been forced to grow up a lot. Ender's had to. Well, Ender played the game that destroyed the Formics, the buggers, the insect enemies of the human race, and Bean knew everything about that. He learnt stuff about the whole situation ahead of time. And just by figuring it out, they were both put in impossible situations and came through it with a win. And so it starts off, like I say, the majority of the book's really childish, and then they end up in a war situation, and they go through war, and war changes people. And from being very childlike, they grow up very, very quickly. Obviously, I'm doing this one primarily from the perspective of Ender's Shadow, because I haven't listened to Ender's Game in a while, and I've just finished Ender's Shadow, and I'm going to be doing the rest of the Shadow series, which sort of fits chronologically, because you have Ender's you have Ender's Shadow and Ender's Game, and then you've got the whole of the Shadow series, and then you've got Ender in Exile, and then way, way off in the future you've got the 3 books which are Children of the Mind, Xenocide, and there's another one. But they're a trilogy unto themselves, set like 3,000 years later, starring Ender. So it's a bit of a completely different world. So this gives us more of a, but it gives us a starting position for what happens on Earth, because that's what the following books take place, and it sets up the wars that are the Earth wars that are going to happen. Towards the end of the book, you have already had Russia make an attempt at control of Earth, along with a group of countries as part of the Warsaw Act, which includes Greece and probably quite a lot of the USSR and a few other countries, and it's very difficult to get an overview of the whole of Earth at that point, but you can already see that the tensions are building, and the end of the Formic War, the end of the war that would have destroyed Earth, actually starts World War. Actually, I think it's World War III, but it's not called such. It's set in a slightly different time to now, because of a number of things, including the fact that they've had space battles and all sorts of bits and pieces. So it may not even be set in the drop me phone, set in the 21st century. But the majority of life hasn't really changed that much on Earth, and it's just it's a good read. It's a good listen. Like I say, I suggest you go and read it, and the rest of the series actually. I am going to review it. There are a few bits and pieces I want to touch on specifically. The next book is about a character that's barely mentioned in either of the others. The next book is Shadow of the Hegemon, and rather than being about Ender Wiggins' brother Peter, Andrew Wiggin, also known as Ender, his brother Peter, it's about a girl called Petra, and supposedly the stories are more about specific people and characters, but when you actually read the books, you find out they're about the people that end up closest to, certainly in the Shadow series, the people that end up closest to Bean. But I will go into those as we come across the next books. So yeah, we have Ender's Shadow and Ender's Game. I really suggest you do go and buy them, read them, listen to them. If I was going to suggest one rather than the other, I actually suggest the Ender's Shadow rather than Ender's Game. I don't know why, I think I've got a better understanding of the whole of the rest of the world, and it's a better setup for a series than Ender's Game. Yeah, it's just I think the whole of the Shadow series is more about life now rather than life on another planet with strange things happening. And again, I can cover that another time. So yeah, I suggest Ender's Shadow, and that's it. I've been Johnny DL. Please go and follow me on Twitter. Send me emails. There's Ask FM. You don't have to sign up to Ask FM. You can ask me questions anonymously. So yeah, you can go and do that. And I think that's everything. So Johnny DL out.